Hello, Steve at Steve at Say 9. Well, I'm continuing on with my Amityville movie marathon, and I'm up to Amityville The Awakening. Now, this is actually a really good film. I loved it. Unfortunately, it was released, it was the last release from Dimension Films and after the whole Harvey Weinstein thing and those companies shut down. So it really didn't get a proper release. It was filmed in 2014. I think it was supposed to be released late 2014 or early 2015. It didn't get released till October 28th, 2017. It got a very small, like, Halloween weekend sort of release, and that's it. It did about $8 million international, and that's it. So it really is the last victim of Harvey Weinstein, and it's not fair because it is a good film. Now, it takes place in the same universe as the other Amityville films. It isn't a sequel to the reboot film, and they actually have a scene in the film where they actually hold up the movies, the first film, second film, and the remake at a movie screening party where they're going to watch the Amityville films. And the guy brings the first film and the second film because it's a prequel and actually deals with the case, and then the reboot, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not watching that. So they established that this is the real house. The films were based in that universe on the real house, and that the remake is actually fiction. So that was interesting. So it had those meta elements. The story's fairly simple. There's a girl, she's a twin. Her brother is defending her in a fight. He gets thrown over a balcony and is brain dead, and he's kept alive. His mother is desperate for him to recover. She thinks he's going to, and she moves to Amityville and to the Amityville house at first just because she needs to be close to a clinic, which is the best clinic, and that's just in New York, so she has to get closer to New York so she can get regular treatment. But then we realised later that she says she had given up on God and praying to God for him to recover, so she was looking for the Amityville house, or she took him to the Amityville house thinking maybe, the other side could help. If God wouldn't help her, then, so that was interesting. It stars Bella Thorne as Belle, and Jennifer Jason Leigh's the mother, and her sister is played by Jennifer Morrison, and Kurtwood Smith is a doctor who visits. So it's good actors playing good characters. They all have some depth and reality, and they have a lot of drama with the internal sort of structure of the family, and the guilt and the resentment regarding how the son was injured, and the favoritism and all these sort of elements, and it all works really well. There's a couple of jump scares, but they're all very organic to what's happening in the scene. I jumped about 3 times in the film. The cinematography's good, the lighting's good. There's not a lot of gore. There's suspense, and some of the elements with the son and his like the body horror of his condition and all that is kind of disturbing. And when it's just good, and it's just so frustrating that it didn't get really a wide release. It got a lot of bad reviews, and I think people were just giving it bad reviews because of Weinstein and because it was from Dimension, and I don't think they're actually looking at the film. So I don't understand that. That's really unfair on the film and the filmmakers. It was made by the producers of Insidious, The Visit, and The Purge, so it's not like it was made by nobodies. And yeah, it just really should have been the start of a new series of Amityville films. I hope it still can be, because I'm glad they just got away from the Amityville horror remake, because that went so far over the top with its, Michael Bayness, that they got sued by George Lutz while he was still alive, because they portrayed him as, a monster who actually kills his dog and everything, and none of that actually happened, of course. So I think that's probably why they just abandoned that. There was talk of there being a found footage film, which was one of the first rip-off films that was made. I think the Amityville Haunting is a found footage film where they just find a bunch of video of kids going into the Amityville house one night and stuff happening to them. So that was done eventually in a cheap and nasty way, which is basically all it deserved. But it was originally going to be that. Then someone had the sense to go, let's just go back to the original Amityville, forget the last couple of sequels, say they were all films in this universe and this is the real house, and take it seriously. And they did, and it worked, and I loved it, and I was so disappointed. I mean, I found out about it when it was in the delay process. It got delayed like twice, and it got released free on Google Play and then on DVD and not on Blu-ray. So I saw it for free. It was also on YouTube for free, and that was a better copy than the Google Play one. And then I got the DVD, which didn't look as good as the one that's on YouTube, but I really enjoyed it. And I was like, God, no! If anyone else had bought the rights, because Weinstein bought the rights to Halloweeners too, as well, and he did he's sort of screwed up H2O, and he did Resurrection, and then he just had these two properties and made a mess out of them. Other people have taken them over since and done a better job, but I just don't know if we're going to get another Amityville film, because there's so many knockoffs now just using the Amityville name in their title, regardless of how much it is or isn't actually related to the films or the story. And I think that's just really damaging the franchise and the brand name, which really is the Amityville Horror. So I'm not quite sure how they're going to manage it going forward, but I hope they do, because I want to see more films. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Amityville: The Awakening.